This is the High School Crossfire. Welcome back.
Studies from the World Bank House shows that tax incentives offered to tourism businesses can stimulate investment and growth. Because they are not the most, as in they cannot be the best in benefiting the local community as much as the subsidies. The subsidies, in the other hand, can provide a direct financial support to tourism businesses, potentially leading to sustainable and local tourism meadows. And another thing is subsidies can provide financial support to tourism businesses, helping them to lower costs, invest in new technologies. This can lead to more tourism opportunities, such as increasement in the job creation and greater focus on the local tourism development. Increased tourism satisfaction and market research. This has been done through the improvement of accommodations such as restaurants and to our local tourism transportation over the years. This positive trend will attract more tourists to return to Uganda and also recommend others to do the same. The effective means of marketing and promotion. Uganda is one of the most marketing and promoting the tourism industry in the numbers of the tourists to their economy. This involves promoting Uganda as the destination in the national, regional, and the international market. Online marketing, including the social media, is being used to reach the wider audience and promote specific tourism products such as ecotourism and cultural tourism. This will help as in online marketing, this will help in contributing to in the numbers of tourists in a country. Development of infrastructures and facilities. The government is insisting in developing tourist infrastructures and facilitating the accommodation and transportation. The focus of diversifying tourism products, services such as the MICE tourism with a potential construction of a new conference center. The need for improved infrastructure, including the transport and communication around the tourism sites, has been highlighted by the businesses. Sustainable tourism practices and communication and community involvement. The effort of providing sustainable development of the wildlife and cultural heritage, ensuring the local terms viability of the tourism resources. There is growing examples in the communities involving the enterprises development in the tourism economy, empowering the local communities to benefit from tourism. This includes the agricultural practices and promoting local, regional, and global partnership for the tourism industry. Recognizing the economic impact of the tourism. Government has recognized the potential of tourism to contribute to natural, social, economic development, making it a priority sector. Studies by the World Bank House shows that $1 of tourism expenditure can generate $2.5 of GDP across the tourism chair in Uganda. Focusing on the niche markets and diversification, Uganda is focusing on niche, meaning the niche is making the customers being loyal to you.
Okay, Chair, what do Team Affirmative bring on the table? They talk about funding tourism infrastructure, but then we pose a question to them because we find that in this, there are debts that are going to come out of this, and we ask them which money are they going to use to fill up these debts. Chair, they give us their source of funding as the UN, and they give us the World Bank House, yeah? But then we find that World Bank withdrew from Uganda. Uganda is no longer dealing with the World Bank, Chair. And then we find that the UN no longer offers funds to a stable country, meaning that at this point in time, their house of funding is questionable because we find that Uganda isn't necessarily receiving any source of funding from the UN or from the World Bank House, Chair. Now, we ask them a question to account for the debts after the loans, and where is the income for the tax subsidies coming from? Because we have ruled out their source of funding because the UN is no longer applicable in this particular matter. Chair, what do they also bring on the table? They talk of development of the infrastructures, employment of local communities, and then the creation of jobs, where they say that 70% of the employees are going to be the natives of the local communities. And then they talk in the long run, they are trying to attract investors, Chair. But then we come to our side of the house, Chair. We find that their side of the house has loopholes that cannot they have failed to solve. Chair, we find that there is corruption, there is poor utilization of the resources. Chair, then let us bring you back to our side of the house that the affirmative haven't yet identified any loopholes in. That makes it stronger. Chair, why are we against we believe that tax incentives is a good idea, but it's not the most effective means of promoting economic tourism. Why? There is inefficiency, whereby there is going to be failure to revive due to debts in the long run, Chair. And then let us look at profit repatriation and the revenue loss, Chair. Right? They are giving the tax holidays, they're giving the tax breaks, well and good. But then in the long run, the government is losing revenue. How are they going to revive this revenue, Chair? Because they haven't given us how they are going to revive all this revenue that is lost. Chair, on our side of the house, let us say, no, this is not the best, this is not the most effective means of promoting economic tourism. What do we bring on the table? We bring infrastructure development through direct involvement, vocational training to unskilled labor in the tourism industry, which is going to boost service quality, and then support small and local businesses, Chair. We find that these points are on both sides of the house, but let us show you how we can do it better, Chair. We find that on our side of the house, we do not leave any loopholes for revenue loss. We do not leave any loopholes for profit repatriation, because in the long run, they're going to attract the investors, well and good. But then what if the investors decide to just leave? For example, China is investing in Uganda, but then we find that there is nothing significant, because in the long run, they might just decide, carry their profits and go back to their country. In the long run, Uganda loses as a nation altogether. Now, Chair, but on our side of the house, we find that instead of giving the tax subsidies and the incentives, we are going to promote infrastructure development through direct involvement of the government, Chair, right? Because the money that could be lost, during these tax incentives and subsidies, we are going to use it to improve the infrastructure. Now, when infrastructures are improved, it's going to automatically attract investors, because investors are looking for what is promising. You can't tell me investors are going to invest just because of the tax subsidies, yet the other sectors are lacking, Chair. And then we bring vocational training to unskilled labor in the tourism industry, which is boosting service quality. We find that if a particular investor says that maybe, these guys are doing it well and fine, why not invest, Chair? Then we look at supporting small and local businesses, Chair. We find that in the long run, everyone in the nation is going to benefit, because we are trying to support the small and local businesses in the long run, because the government is going to be involved. They are not giving tax incentives or subsidies, and we are going to support the small and local businesses, because we find that, Chair, if they give the tax incentives and subsidies, we find that on their side of the house, it is not going to benefit the small and local businesses, because we find that they aren't yet there, Chair. They aren't yet there. Okay, With this, I beg to rest my case.
This is the High School Crossfire. We'll be back in a minute.